why think small? That doesn't mean that you should not dream big. It's not about that. It's about having a big dream and then breaking it down to its smallest irreducible task. I'll give you a simple example of reading. See, uh, I have written a book which is less than 60 pages. Can you see? I think this is the slimmest book I've ever seen in the world. It's my own book. Okay, I could have exaggerated it and written it for 300 words. I whole purposely did it with a full purpose and kept it in less than 60 pages. And I've not got a single feedback. Thousands of people have read this book, bought this book, almost 50,000 people. Not a single complaint that I could not finish the book, that I left half read. Yeah, that's because the power of think small. When you look at a thick, fat book of 300 pages, for example, Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari, indirectly, invariably at the back of the mind, we always think about the remaining 299 pages. When we know that we are not going to read more than one page at a time, but we feel overwhelmed by the sheer number of remaining pages. Our mind is very good at wandering, going into the future and worrying about things which did not happen. And so when we look at a thick fat book of 300 pages, उधर ही हमारा विल पावर खत्म हो जाता है कि ये कब खत्म होगा. लेकिन अगर उसी बुक को मैं एक पन्ना फाड़ के आपको दूं, श्रेया को दूं, फिर वो एक पन्ना पढ़ने के बाद आई विल गिव द सेकंड पेज and Shreya reads the second page. After that, I'll give you the third page. Shreya will end up reading the entire 300-page book. That's the meaning of think small. Okay, it's about taking away the fear of. See, imagination is a double-edged sword. You know that human beings are the only animal in the animal kingdom which can imagine. To imagine means to see things which do not exist. Hence, we are ruling the animal kingdom, right? So everything around me, this phone was an imagination in somebody's mind, and then it manifested in the real world. But there is a dark side of imagination. There is a big, big disadvantage of imagination, that we imagine things which will never happen, or we go into the future. Right now, although we all are here present in the Zoom, somebody must be getting distracted thinking about the sabji that is kept in the kitchen for cooking. या फिर बच्चे अभी तक घर पे क्यों नहीं आए हैं? Yeah, whereas you are supposed to focus here now. I'm not complaining. I'm just giving a few examples that how imagination works against us. कि नहाते वक्त हमको नहाने के बारे में ही सोचना है. Whereas we are mentally out of the bathroom, thinking about the kitchen, thinking about the kids, thinking about the PowerPoint presentation that is going to come up in the meeting today, right? That's the drawback of imagination. Whereas dogs and other animals never do that. They're always naturally in the present. Kids are naturally in the present, and उनका imagination power बहुत कम रहता है शुरू में. बाद में as they grow older, वो शुरू हो जाता है and they start getting into the future. So when you're reading a book, okay, we are more focusing on the unread part of the book, on the remaining number of pages. Whereas the fact is that you are never going to read more than one page at a time, right? Same goes with other things. So our brain hates big, humongous tasks. जैसे संडे को मुझे घर साफ करना है. अरे बाप रे, the first reaction to your mind is बाप रे, पूरा घर साफ करना है. And because your brain hates such big, humongous tasks, big tasks, you don't get started. पर उसी को अगर मैं if I think small, I break it down into नहीं, मुझे मेरे वार्डरोब का एक ड्रॉवर साफ करना है, एक ही ड्रॉवर, वो भी लेफ्ट हैंड साइड का, then you don't need any willpower to get started. And I've seen myself, in fact, it's a proven scientific study. Once you get started, I start cleaning the drawer. I end up cleaning the entire wardrobe, and then my bedroom, and then the entire living room. और 2-3 घंटे साफ सफाई में चले जाते. Same goes with workouts. ओके, बड़ा वर्कआउट का अगर लिस्ट देखेंगे ना, बाप रे, 50 पुशअप्स, 20 दो 4 सेट के 20 पुलअप्स, नो 5 किलोमीटर रनिंग, 1000 रोप जंप्स, द फर्स्ट रिएक्शन इज अरे बाप रे, छोड़ना, चादर ओढ़ के सो जाते हैं, मस्त ठंडी है, पंखा ऑफ करते हैं, हाँ, और रजाई ओढ़ के वापस और स्नूज करेंगे, और स्नूज कर करके, एंड आई एम आल्सो नॉट एन एक्सेप्शन टू दिस, आई डू स्नूज स्पेशली इन विंटर्स। उठने का मन नहीं करता है, but I'll come to the solutions to all these common problems that we face. Yeah. So one solution to take care of your willpower. Okay? Don't rely on willpower. Don't trust your willpower. सोने से पहले सबका विल पावर हाई रहता है कि कल मैं 5 बजे उठूंगा, जैसे ही 5 बजते वो विल पावर कहाँ जाता है पता नहीं चलता है, राइट? सो आवर फ्यूचर विल पावर इज ऑलवेज हाई, करंट विल पावर का प्रॉब्लम है. So one biggest learning, so I've written some notes for you from the book. uh, Social accountability. See, humans are very aware of the expectations of others. I repeat, humans are extremely aware of the expectations of others. You know, एक बहू अपने सास के expectations के बारे में बहुत conscious रहती है. Yeah, heroes are extremely conscious about how I'm looking on the screen. We all are, right? We'll always, अगर 10 फोटोज निकले तो उसमें से बेस्ट फोटो ही हमारा इंस्टाग्राम में जाएगा, खराब वाला हम डालेंगे ही नहीं कभी. राइट? मेनी टाइम्स इनफैक्ट इंस्टाग्राम को देख के जब मैं किसी सेमिनार में किसी को मिलता हूँ ना, अच्छा ये वही है क्या, मुझे तो बहुत ही, वो इंस्टाग्राम में तो बहुत ही अलग कलर था, अभी एक्चुअल में अलग है. सो वी ऑल नो दिस, वी ऑलवेज अपलोड द बेस्ट फोटो ऑन फेसबुक एंड इंस्टाग्राम, नॉट द मीडियोकर, नेवर द वर्स्ट, जहाँ पे आंखें बंद हो गई है, या फिर अजीब अजीब दिख रहे हैं, कान में उंगली है, ऐसे कुछ फोटो हम कभी डालेंगे नहीं. So we are extremely aware of other people's expectations. So उसका फायदा लेना है. कैसे? So what I do is, I'll just change the example of the author. I wanted to write this book. You all know that I've written this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Readers. I was procrastinating for 6 months. बस नाम रेडी था, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Readers. एक शब्द लिख नहीं रहा था. You know, the hardest part, somebody has nicely said, I think Ruskin Bond has said, in the case of writing a book, the hardest part is not writing. The hardest part is to sit and write. I hope you get the difference. The hardest part is not writing. The hardest part is to sit and write. The hardest part is not exercising. The hardest part is going to the gym and exercise. जिम जाने के बाद एक्सरसाइज नहीं किया, ऐसा कभी हुआ है क्या आपके साथ? या वार्म अप करने के बाद वापस आप घर पे आए, ऐसा कभी हुआ है क्या? सो आई एम टेकिंग यू टुवर्ड्स स्मॉल थिंकिंग नाउ, कि जब मुझे किताब लिखनी थी एंड आई वाज प्रोक्रास्टिनेटिंग, only the title was ready, and then I learned this concept of social accountability from this book, which says that since we are extremely aware of the expectations of other people, I put a post on Facebook, Instagram, that after 2.5 months, on 25th November, which happens to be my sister's birthday, I am going to launch my book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Readers, which will explain you my techniques of reading, how I read at a great speed, how I remember, how I use the ideas in my life, etc. And if you want to pre-book the book, please, this is my GPay number. And I had not written a single word for that book. और फिर पैसे आने लगे, और फिर जो मेरी फट गई. And unfortunately, in those next 2.5 months, I got maximum invitations across the world. So just before COVID, I was in Bahrain, I was in Muscat, I was in Abu Dhabi, I was traveling in India as well. 80% of the book I wrote on the flights, on the airports, on the railway stations, in the railways, in hotel rooms. Now, because इंसान अपनी नाक इज्जत बचाने के लिए किसी भी हद तक जाएगा. Now that people are expecting something from me and I have exposed myself, कि दो 2.5 मंथ्स के अंदर बुक जानी रेडी होनी चाहिए. मतलब एक भी शब्द मैंने पिछले 6 महीने में नहीं लिखा था. द एंटायर बुक वॉज रेडी 10 days बिफोर 25th November, and the book was at the doorstep of the people who had bought it just before 25th November. That is on 24th November. This is the power of social accountability. See, weight loss होने के बाद सब लोग बिफोर और आफ्टर का फोटो डालते हैं ना. दैट इज इजी. वेट लॉस होने से पहले कितने लोगों ने इंस्टाग्राम पे फोटो डाला कि देखो मैं 100 किलो की हूं, एंड आई प्रॉमिस यू टुडे इज 1st January, बाय 31st March यू विल सी मी एट 80 kg. ये करने के लिए बहुत हिम्मत चाहिए ना. बट इफ यू डू इट, ट्रस्ट मी, आपकी दुनिया बदल जाएगी. एक तो आप पे कोई हंसेगा नहीं, पहली बात. तो दूसरा, पीपल विल एनकरेज यू. पीपल विल आस्क यू व्हाट्स योर प्रोग्रेस. अभी आज 2 फरवरी है, क्या हुआ, कितना किलो घटा. पीपल आर ऑलवेज देयर टू सपोर्ट. बट हम क्या करते हैं, नहीं, अचीवमेंट के बाद हम पूरा दिखाते हैं कि मैं सीए हो गया, मैं इंजीनियर हो गया, मैं पतली हो गई, हाँ, मैं मैराथन भाग के ये किया. उसके पहले का कोई बोलता नहीं. एंड वी ऑल नो दैट इट इज नॉट इजी टू डू एनीथिंग इन आइसोलेशन. तो ऑथर भी बोलता है कि हैव अ कमिटमेंट पार्टनर. ऑथर ने खुद ऐसा एक आइडिया किया कि उसको जिम जाना रेगुलर करना था. सो ही टोल्ड हिज को ऑथर फ्रेंड. सो ओवन सर्विस इज वन ऑफ द ऑथर्स, और एक दूसरा ऑथर है. तो ओवन सर्विस ने उसके फ्रेंड को बोला कि इफ आई डोंट गो टू द जिम रेगुलरली, you can tell this to the entire employees of the company that I am not keeping my own promise. और वो डर के चक्कर में he started going to the gym regularly. सिंपल ये स्टेटमेंट बोला कि अगर मैं जिम को रेगुलरली नहीं जाऊंगा, तो यू कैन टेल ऑल माय फ्रेंड्स. सो योर कमिटमेंट पार्टनर शुड नॉट कांट बी योर स्पाउस, क्योंकि स्पाउस लोग थोड़े सॉफ्ट रहेंगे. हाँ ठीक है, एक दिन चलता है वगैरह. फाइंड अ फ्रेंड हु इज लिटिल टफ. हाँ, वो आपकी सुनेगा भी नहीं कि नहीं एक दिन चलता है वगैरह, नहीं बोलेगा. ऑलराइट. अगर आप डाइट कर रहे हैं तो हैव अ कमिटमेंट पार्टनर. कि और नहीं तो फिर आपके जो फैमिली मेंबर है ना, आपके पति या आपकी पत्नी, अरे आज ठीक है एक दिन जलेबी खाई तो चलेगा, ये सब तो वो कमिटमेंट पार्टनर नहीं चलेगा. ओके. सो दिस सोशल अकाउंटेबिलिटी रियली वर्क्स. there's a really interesting experiment done in the by the authors, the popcorn experiment, which helps you to understand the power of trigger. You know what's a trigger? जैसे मेरा एक दोस्त है, he's a smoker, so and he wanted to quit smoking. So I told him that find out that trigger कि क्या कौन से सिचुएशन में तुमको सिगरेट पीने का मन करता है. And then when he studied a lot, he said that when I meet a friend who is a smoker, that encourages me to smoke. I said perfect. Stop meeting such friends. Let's try, meet them less frequently. Simple. Unfortunately, you have to remove those people from your life because they act as a trigger, or at least tell them that because of you I'm not able to quit smoking. Maybe if they are kind hearted, they will only stop meeting you, or they will do something or help you to quit smoking. So this is what trigger helps you for to get rid of a negative habit or work on a positive habit. So ये popcorn experiment में क्या किया उन्होंने, सबको थिएटर में एक बासी पॉपकॉर्न्स दिए और खराब कोका कोला दिया. ओके. So there are two groups of people. One group was not used to having popcorns in a movie theater, and other group they were invariably having popcorns and a Coke bottle whenever they were watching a movie in a theater. हुआ परिणाम ऐसा, both the groups, the first group which never used to have popcorns, जैसे मैं I don't have popcorns when I'm watching a movie in a theater, so I would have belonged to the first group. तो जो बासी वो गंदा था एक्चुअली, दैट इट टेस्टेड डिस्गस्टिंग, द पॉपकॉर्न्स वर डिस्गस्टिंग. तो पहले वालों ने वो टेस्ट करके उसको फेंक दिया कि नहीं ये तो खराब है. दे रियलाइज कि तो बासी है, तो खराब हो गया, इट इज एक्सपायर्ड. Whereas the second group who were habitual to have popcorns while watching a movie in that atmosphere of movie theater का एक स्मेल रहता है, अपना एक ऑरा रहता है, हमको एक अलग ही स्टेट में हम रहते हैं, उनको पता ही नहीं चला कि ये टेस्ट खराब है. So the trigger was the movie theater itself. The trigger was so strong, they did not realize that these were stale, disgusting, tasteless popcorns and outdated Coca-Cola. So that's the power of a trigger. Okay. So I use this. So when I wanted to develop this habit of night brushing, I was finding it very hard. मैं भूल जाता था मैं रात को ब्रश करना. तो अभी सुबह का ब्रश करना तो हम भूलते नहीं है बिकॉज वो बचपन से आदत है, राइट. सो करना क्या है, आई क्रिएटेड अ ट्रिगर वेयर जब मैं रात को नाइट ड्रेस पहनना कभी भूलता नहीं हूँ. आई ऑलवेज चेंज, दिन में जो कपड़े पहनता हूँ उसको चेंज करके मैं रात के कपड़े पहनता हूँ, नाइट ड्रेस. तो मैंने क्या करना शुरू किया, सुबह ब्रश करने के बाद उस टूथब्रश को वो नाइट ड्रेस के पैंट के जेब में रखना शुरू किया. So that whenever I wear that pant before going to bed, my night dress वाला pant, that will remind me, अरे ये टूथब्रश है, क्योंकि मैं सोने जाऊंगा तो वो चुभेगा ना वो टूथब्रश मुझे. And then that was a trigger, अरे ब्रश करना रह गया मेरे से. My intention was great. I always wanted to brush, लेकिन भूल जाता था. शुरू में when there is a new habit, you always forget because it is not part of your routine. To make it part of your routine, peg that new habit to an existing habit. Got it? वो जो मैंने किया कि आई नेवर फॉरगेट टू वेयर माय नाइट ड्रेस, तो उसके अंदर मैंने टूथब्रश को घुसा दिया. अभी लगता नहीं है, नाउ आई ऑलवेज ब्रश माय टीथ बिफोर गोइंग टू बेड, क्योंकि अभी आदत हो गई है. आई डोंट नीड अ ट्रिगर. So you can also come out with such creative ideas where you can put a trigger. Alarms are beautiful triggers. Okay. Now we don't have an innate intelligence where suppose आपको एक एरिया में जाके कुछ काम करना है, ओके, और उस एरिया में ही बाकी के भी काम है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि मुझे सब्जी मंडी में जाके सब्जी लानी है और फिर घर आके मुझे आता है वो दूध लाना तो भूल ही गया, वो उधर ही तो था वो शॉप. और हम खुद तो कोसते हैं कि हाउ स्टूपिड आई एम, कि उस एरिया में मैं गया और उस एरिया के एक दो काम तो भूल ही गया मैं. Why I couldn't think कि उधर ऐसा, there is no such innate intelligence in our human mind where वो एरिया में आने के बाद ऑटोमेटिकली एक पॉपअप आएगा हमारे दिमाग में कि अरे दूध भी लेना है, ये भी लेना है, ये भी लेना है. ऐसा नहीं होता है वो. अनफॉर्चुनेटली देयर इज नो सच innate intelligence in our human mind. So stop cursing yourself. You are not stupid if you forget such things. Okay, the most obvious things. तो इसमें our mind, the author says that our mind is made to create ideas, not to hold back ideas. Ideas मतलब not just a startup idea. I'm talking about ideas मतलब सब्जी भी लेनी है, चाय पत्ती भी लेनी है, दूध भी लेना है. For example, these are the three ideas. Our brain is not made to store those ideas. उसमें से एक ना एक भूल ही जाओगे आप कितने भी इंटेलिजेंट हो. So the best way is to put it on a reliable source, a piece of paper, simple, or your mobile को कोई ऐप रहता है, yeah. पूरा whenever you step out from your house, just make a simple list of all the things that you want to buy, yeah. यहाँ बैठ के जब imagine करोगे तो that intelligence will help you कि मुझे यहाँ जाके ये लेना, फिर ये लेना, ये लेना है. That too in the same order. In fact मैं तो कभी-कभी इतना stupidity करता हूँ, if I don't write it in the same order in which I am going to travel, तो वो ऑर्डर में अगर मैंने लिखता तो मैं वो उसमें से एक आइटम भूल जाता हूँ क्योंकि मैंने उल्टा सीधा लिख दिया. So the order of writing is also important for me. That doesn't mean that I'm stupid. There is no such innate intelligence in human mind. So I never step out without a list of my shopping list whenever I step out from my house. So that's the biggest lesson I learned. कमिटमेंट रेफरी का एक एग्जांपल मेरे पर्सनल लाइफ में देता हूँ. सो people think that I'm a very fitness freak guy. I exercise a lot, but honestly, I don't love giving pain to my body. किसको अच्छा लगता है सुबह 5:30 बजे उठ के 6 बजे सब सो रहे और मैं पागल की तरह खुद को कष्ट दे रहा हूँ? किसको पसंद आएगा? किसी को नहीं, राइट. सो आई नो कि आई एम अ लेजी पर्सन. तो करना क्या है? सो कमिटमेंट रेफरी या कमिटमेंट पार्टनर का जो कंसेप्ट है, so what I do is, now tonight when I go to bed at 9:30, 10, I will message 2-3 of friends of mine, see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. For workout, और मैं कुछ 4-5 वर्कआउट के एक्सरसाइज लिख के देता हूँ. Okay. Now when I tell them that see you tomorrow at 6 a.m., they are assuming that I'm going to show up, whereas I am myself not sure whether I'll show up tomorrow. But here उनको बोला मैंने, अभी if I don't show up tomorrow morning, अगला 1 महीने तक मुझे गाली खानी पड़ेगी उनसे, ये बोला और ये आया ही नहीं. And those who say yes I will come, अगर वो नहीं आया तो मैं उनको छोड़ूंगा नहीं. So for whatever reason we all show up. Got it? Because doing anything in isolation is always boring. It doesn't last for more than few days. इसलिए मैं कुछ isolation में नहीं करता हूँ. The author says exactly. I learned this from this book only. Think small. Never do anything in isolation, except the bathroom activities. Everything else, even reading, I don't do in isolation. What I do is, I and Farid have a deal. जो बुक तुम पढ़ोगे वो मैं नहीं पढ़ूंगा, और जो बुक मैं पढ़ूंगा तुम नहीं पढ़ोगे. You know why? Because why duplication of effort? When we are on the dining table having lunch, you explain me all the big ideas that you learned from the book that you read, and next time I will share the ideas that I read. तो एक तीर में दो निशान हो गए ना, right? So exercise, meditation हो गया, पढ़ाई. मैं तो बोलता हूँ I envy the students of this age who are the social media age. I envy, मुझे उनकी बहुत जलन होती है. If I was in their shoes today as a student in 12th or first year or whatever CA exam, I would have used those reels, shorts, Instagrams for my studies. चलो एक कोई पाइथागोरस का कंसेप्ट समझ में आ गया, I will make a video out of it, a 2-minute 1-minute video reel and put it on Instagram. और फिर उस पे जो रिप्लाईज आएंगे, कमेंट्स आएंगे, उस पे मैं रिप्लाई दूंगा. इस चक्कर में मेरा रिवीजन होगा. I don't see any of the students doing this. एक तो खर्चा भी नहीं है, right? Zero investment, and we all spend time on such platforms. Then I might as well use it for my studies also, right? What's stopping us? I don't know. I'm asking this question to all the students in this forum. What's stopping you from sharing one lesson that you learned today in your biology, chemistry, and mathematics and whatever? Yeah. Anyway, you are going to spend so much time on it. There is no point in blaming social media. Because of social media, you are watching me right now. I did not spend a single rupee on marketing. I have made thousands of videos by sharing the big ideas that I learned from books, right? On Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, क्या नहीं, WhatsApp, सबका use किया है. You'll not see my single picture on any social media without a book. इतना clear purpose के साथ I use social media, not random videos. बीच में कुछ मोदी का डाल दिया, बीच में कुछ कुत्ते बिल्ली का वीडियो डाल दिया. No, every post goes with a clear purpose. So I look at social media as a tool. Like एक चाकू है जो एक डाकू के हाथ में दो और एक सर्जन के हाथ में दो. See, चीज वही है. The intention changes everything. One uses that knife to save life, the other uses the same knife to take life. Same goes with social media. 80% of people are using it to consume it, all the entertainment, all useless stuff, stand-up comedy, dance videos, music. आप बोलोगे म्यूजिक तो अच्छा होता है. Yes, music is good, but too much of music is bad. YouTube is not bad. Too much of YouTube is bad. Alcohol is not bad. Too much of alcohol is bad. Right? The author talks about financial rewards or some rewards that backfire. So there was an experiment made on blood donation. एक ब्लड डोनेशन कैंपेन था, और एक ब्लड डोनेशन कैंपेन में बोला you will get a cash reward if you come and show up and donate blood. and the donations dropped by 70%. नेक्स्ट कैंपेन में ऐसा कुछ भी रिवॉर्ड दिया नहीं, and there was a 100% show up. So it's not always that cash rewards will help you to motivate people to do what you want them to do. In fact, sometimes it will backfire. ये तो बहुत बड़ा एग्जाम्पल है, सिंपल एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ आपको. एक दादी माँ है और उसका पोता है. पोता दादी माँ को बोलता है कि दादी माँ, थोड़ा मुझे होमवर्क करने में हेल्प करोगे क्या, मैं आपको 5 रुपए दूंगा. दादी माँ बोले कि चुप बैठ, कान के नीचे बजाओ क्या, I will do it, I'll help you anyway out of love and affection, I don't need 5 rupees as a reward, right? Helping the grandson in itself is a reward for her, right? So offering an external reward will demotivate her. That's what is happening in our school system. The very process of learning is so enjoyable, but the moment we put an external reward of marks and ranking, now we are suddenly demotivated and we assume that the process of learning is not enjoyable, and hence there is a external reward of marks, ranking, grades. Are you getting my point? Problem यहाँ पे है, and hence why I'm surprised that my approach towards academic reading and non-academic reading same, because I was taught in my family that you don't have to study for marks, you just study for the sake of learning new stuff, and an examination is just a medium of expression in your own words, in your own vocabulary. And the same goes with non-academic reading, right? All right. So जब कोई माँ अपने बच्चे को बोलती है कि बेटा पहले होमवर्क करो फिर तुम्हें यूट्यूब देखने दूंगी, so basically she is motivating the child, but not motivating to do the homework, but she is motivating to watch YouTube or Cartoon Network. And basically she is indirectly teaching the child कि देखो ये पढ़ाई ये बोरिंग है ना, इसलिए तुमको मैं कुछ एक्साइटिंग रिवॉर्ड दे रही हूँ यूट्यूब का. We are teaching the kid that learning is boring, and hence there is a external reward like a chocolate or a Cartoon Network session. How funny is that, right? आजकल तो you proudly hand over the mobile phone to your children. That's so dangerous. I request all the parents that I that if you're handing over your phone to a 6-year-old child, just because the child is distracting you, and think that you're handing over a packet of cocaine to your child. It's called behavioral addiction. There are two types of addictions. One is substance addiction, another is behavioral addiction. Substance addiction is consumption of drugs, alcohol, tobacco, and it is very easy to recognize. ये behavioral addiction है ना, is very deceptive. समझता नहीं है वो. Okay, Steve Jobs ने खुद अपने बच्चों को till the age of 15, he did not allow his kids an iPhone or iPad at home, because he knew that he can't go high on his own supply. A drug dealer can't go high on his own supply. किसी पान वाले को आपने सिगरेट पीते हुए देखा है क्या? कभी नहीं देखोगे. उसको पता है कि मुझे दूसरों को सिगरेट पिलाना है, खुद को नहीं पिलाना है. I know it is quite unethical, right? So I decided that I will create something in this world which even my family members will use it. I will never create something where I'll tell the world use it and tell my family members not to use it, the kids in my family. Then I'm doing something wrong, seriously wrong, right? जैसे कुछ फार्मर्स है जो जिनको मैं मिला कि वो खुद के घर के लिए अनाज है ना, वो अलग से उगाते हैं खेत में, और बाहर मार्केट में भेजने के लिए अलग से, वहां पे सब पेस्टिसाइड्स केमिकल्स रहेगा, और घर के लिए एकदम नो पेस्टिसाइड्स नो केमिकल्स ऐसे करते थे. सो नो, आई थिंक दिस इज अ वेरी रॉन्ग वे ऑफ डीलिंग विद थिंग्स. Now let's discuss about distraction. That when we say that when you have to increase our focus, okay, that means we have to keep away those distractions, right? So by But when I say that increase your focus, that doesn't mean you have to increase your concentration, but to keep away all the distractions. And unfortunately, our generation has more number of distractions than people like 10, 15 years ago. Yeah, obviously, I'm talking about the biggest distraction is this stupid instrument, which has become integral part of our body. So, first, we should know what is a distraction and what is not a distraction. Okay. For example, if I'm reading a book or I'm working on an Excel sheet, then even an important video sent by my friend, not a useless one, a proper interview of Steve Jobs, where I'm going to get to learn something from him, that too is also a distraction if I open it while I'm working on a high value task like reading a book. Are you getting my point? Whereas uh, Kapil Sharma's, when I've decided that I'm going to watch one episode of Kapil Sharma comedy on Saturday 6:30 p.m. But I open कुछ stock market का chart, then that stock market is a distraction for me because I had dedicated 6 p.m. Saturday for entertainment to watch Kapil Sharma episode on YouTube. Then I should just give 100% to it. Then it is not a distraction. Are you getting my point? So it's not about what you're doing. It's about one thing at a time. कि अगर मैं पावर पॉइंट का प्रेजेंटेशन बना रहा हूँ और मैं मोबाइल को बगल पे रख के काम करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ और वो टिंग बजता है और मैं व्हाट्सएप को खोल लेता हूँ, जस्ट वो हाई के चक्कर में हाई को रिप्लाई दे रहा हूँ और पता चला कि उसके नीचे भी कोई मैसेज आया, उसके नीचे आया, एंड एंड अप स्पेंडिंग 20 minutes, whereas the intention was just to reply to that hi. I'm paying a huge price. I'm paying a huge price. And then when I'm trying to switch from this task to the main task, I'm paying a huge penalty. I have to recalibrate. My mind has to recalibrate again by switching my focus from task B to task A. एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ, दो रूम्स है, एक रूम में एक पंखा है जिसको मैं एक अभी ऑन करता हूँ एंड देन आई स्विच इट ऑफ आफ्टर 1 hour. Second room, there is another fan. For 1 hour, I switch on the fan. Every 5 minutes I switch off. So अभी ऑन करता हूँ, 5 मिनट के बाद ऑफ करता हूँ, वापस ऑन करता हूँ, 5 मिनट के बाद ऑफ करता हूँ. Where will I get higher electricity bill? In the first case or the second case? I believe you will say second case, right? क्योंकि यहाँ पे ऑन ऑफ बार बार हो रहा है 5-5 मिनट में. That's what is happening when you try to multitask. Our brain is not made for multitasking. We think we take pride कि मैं तो दो तीन तीन काम एक साथ कर लेता हूँ. But actually there is no multitasking. There is switch tasking. वो इतना fast होता है ना that I take away my attention from task A and I'm putting my attention to task B, and then again I have to pull back my attention to task A. I have to recalibrate a lot, and it happens so fast. We think कि हम दोनों साथ में कर रहे हैं. Whereas when you try to multitask, your productivity falls to a fourth grade child. You make so many mistakes. So one thing at a time is the most. In fact, जब बिल गेट्स और वॉरेन बफे दोनों एक साथ एक कमरे में बैठे थे, एंड आई थिंक किसी ने पूछा उनको कि दोनों अलग अलग हो जाओ कमरे में एंड आंसर इन वन वर्ड दैट व्हाट इज द वन थिंग इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर सक्सेस. और दोनों ने एक कागज पे एक ही वर्ड लिखा, दोनों ने, दैट वाज फोकस. The focus doesn't mean focus in the business, but focus means हम बोलते हैं ना टाइम मैनेजमेंट. टाइम मैनेजमेंट ऐसा कुछ है ही नहीं. The value of time is decided by the amount of attention you put in that task when you're doing it. I repeat, the value of time is decided by the amount of attention you put in when you're doing that something, some task during that time. If you are doing shallow work, थोड़ा ये कर रहा हूँ मैं, थोड़ा फिर मैं व्हाट्सएप खोला, फिर वापस मैंने किया, फिर पीछे यूट्यूब का गाना चल रहा है. मैं बहुत बार देखता हूँ. आई वाज वर्किंग इन अ co-working space for few months, and when I used to go to the canteen and many people were having their lunch box, they were having lunch while having a web series going on their mobile. And I asked one of the girls that why are you eating and watching web series at the same time? And she said that saves time, that saves 15 minutes of my time. I said okay, but you are wrong. It's like saying that 1 लीटर दूध है और उस 1 लीटर दूध में पानी मिलाया 1 लीटर का और बोला कि देखो मैंने दूध को बढ़ाया 2 लीटर कर दिया. No, you have not increased the quantity of milk. You have deteriorated the quality of milk. Similarly, when you are having your lunch while watching a web series or a YouTube video, then you are diluting the very richness of your life experience. You are neither enjoying the food by 100% nor enjoying that web series. I would rather recommend, in fact, the author recommends that focus fully on the food. If you see me having food, I have nothing around me. I just look at the food and have it. Enjoy every bite of it. And then I'll spend 15 minutes if I want to watch a movie or a video. Okay. But this is nowadays पूरी family TV पे सामने बैठ के खाना खाती है. They think that it is normal. No, it's a blunder. Okay, because you are living a shallow life. You are diluting the richness of the very experience of your life. Uh, so as I said, there is nothing called time management. It's about attention management. And unfortunately, these people, Silicon Valley guys, people, they are very smart. They spend crores and crores, millions of dollars of rupees to find out a hack and how they can distract us when we are working, try to focus on something. They're coming out with beautiful ideas. The biggest was notification. I think notification was the worst invention man could ever invent in human history. If nuclear bomb was the worst invention for uh, mass destruction, then this technology of notification is the worst invention of mass distraction. And so this, जितने वो लोग स्मार्ट है ना हमको डिस्ट्रैक्ट करने को, उतना ही easy है to hack back them. There is one single button in your phone. If you just notification का बटन है, उसको ऑफ करोगे ना, trust me, your life will become so easy. Try to switch off that notification button in your settings, and you will be away from all such stupid distractions. फिर आप बोलोगे अरे इंपॉर्टेंट मैसेज आ गया व्हाट्सएप पे तो क्या अर्जेंट मैसेज आया तो all my notifications switched off and I have very good friends in my life. किसी को बुरा नहीं लगता है और किसी फ्रेंड को अगर बुरा लगेगा if he doesn't get a quick reply on my WhatsApp, then I don't want such friend in my life. If the foundation of relationship is based on a WhatsApp reply, then I don't want such relationships. All right. और अगर किसी को अर्जेंट करना है तो व्हाट्सएप क्यों करेगा, वो तो फोन करेगा ना. तुम अगर बाथरूम से अगर फिसल के गिरोगे तुम व्हाट्सएप करोगे या किसी को कॉल करोगे, राइट? That means 99% of messages on WhatsApp are never urgent and mostly not important also. I know that WhatsApp itself is not a problem. It's not about the time that you spend on such apps. It is the timing. Perhaps I must be spending the same amount of time on WhatsApp that you all are spending, or most of us. I'm not talking about the amount of time, but the timing. When I'm trying to work on something like reading a book, और बीच बीच में अगर मैं WhatsApp चेक कर रहा हूँ just because of that ting, right? That is a problem. But if I block myself for 20 minutes to read and then take a micro break and check my mobile phone, which I've kept away from me purposefully, check all those messages, give those calls to the missed calls, and then keep that mobile away and again try to focus for 20 minutes, that's called deep work. But we are doing all shallow work. Shallow work में क्या है, थोड़ा ये थोड़ा ये थोड़ा ये थोड़ा ये, बीच में कुछ पता चला अरे वो गूगल कर दिया, बीच में कुछ पता चला, all impulsive काम, momentary सब. It's not decided. If you try to open YouTube without a clear goal, without a clear objective कि मुझे इसका ये रेसिपी का वीडियो देखना है, ये ऑब्जेक्टिव बिना लेके अगर मैं यूट्यूब खोला, आई एम लॉस्ट, इट्स अ ब्लैक होल. दे आर वेरी स्मार्ट, नो, टू हिप्नोटाइज यू, एंड यू विल कीप वॉचिंग वीडियो आफ्टर वीडियो आफ्टर वीडियो आफ्टर वीडियो, और वो 2 घंटे कैसे चले जाते समझ में नहीं आता, राइट? So look at these things as, as mediums of hypnotism. Okay, लगता है कि ये stupid छोटी सी चीज हमका हमारा क्या क्या बुरा करेगी. नहीं भाई, बहुत बहुत बड़ी चीज है ये. All right, and hence when I talk about deep work and shallow work, why I read books, although there are blogs, articles out there, short videos, useful videos. So when you read a book, the author tries to repeat things. Whenever now, अभी एक ही सेशन में तो पूरा बुक खत्म नहीं होती है, राइट? तो जब मैं वापस दोबारा खोलता हूँ और मैंने कुछ 10 पेजेस पढ़ के हो गए, एटलीस्ट गो थ्रू, कुछ तो खोलता हूँ ना, और एंड आई गेट एक्सपोज टू दैट आइडिया अगेन एंड अगेन. रिपीटेशन इज इंपॉर्टेंट. आपने कभी ऐसी कोई किताब पढ़ी है जिसपे सिर्फ कोट्स लिखे रहते हैं, पूरे पेज पे एक कोट रहता है ना? अगर ऐसी किताब आप पढ़ लो, आई गारंटी आपको एक भी कोट याद नहीं रहेगी. हुआ कभी आपके साथ ऐसा? यस, बिकॉज इट्स ऑल शैलो. To understand the quote, an idea, you have to spend enough time with that idea. You have to get exposed to that idea n number of times, then you will internalize that piece of knowledge. जो आर्टिकल और ब्लॉग में नहीं होता है, बिकॉज आर्टिकल और ब्लॉग 5 मिनट में खत्म हो जाता है, and then we don't take effort to read it again and again. Whereas in a book, the author goes deep into that idea. You spend enough time with those ideas, and hence there is a chance that it will become part of your rest of your life. Of course, there is a chance that you will forget, and hence I say that read and discuss those big ideas. If there is nobody to discuss with you, make a video and put it on Instagram, YouTube. Repeat it, because repetition is the friend of memory. There was a very interesting experiment. So there is a concept called nudge theory. नच थियरी मतलब क्या है? जैसे मैंने बोला ना, एक एग्जांपल दिया था, कमिटमेंट पार्टनर या कमिटमेंट रेफरी हु विल नज मी कि आज वर्कआउट किया क्या, आज तू आया क्यों नहीं. सो देयर इज वन नच थियरी एक्सपेरिमेंट. यूके में बहुत सारे टैक्स पेयर्स वर इवेडिंग टैक्स, दे वर नॉट पेइंग टैक्स ऑन टाइम. सो द गवर्नमेंट wrote fake letters to all the income tax payers, non-payers, that 90% of the people in your area paid tax before the due date. ऐसा सबको लिखा, and the tax payment shot up by 80%. Why? Because we always want to be sync with other people, with the society. We want to be like other people, especially in positive things. वैसे डॉक्टर्स के मामले में एक एक्सपेरिमेंट किया गया था. सो ऑथर ने ये खुद एक्सपेरिमेंट किया, जहां पे they picked up top 20 doctors who were prescribing too many antibiotics. ऐसे कुछ डॉक्टर्स होते हैं ना जो बहुत एंटीबायोटिक्स देते पेशेंट्स. Fortunately, my doctor gives very less antibiotics. I guess Dr. Dilip is here in the forum and he must be smiling right now. So the authors wrote letters to these doctors, top 20 doctors in their town, who prescribed too much of antibiotics. और लेटर में लिखा कुछ ऐसे, फेक लेटर था, एंड में लिखा that most of the doctors in your area, or most of the doctors in your fraternity prescribe much lesser antibiotics than you prescribe. ऐसा बोला. And in next 1 month, 70,000 and lesser antibiotics were prescribed by those doctors, because the doctors wanted to be in sync with all other doctors. This is called as nudge theory. We always are aware of the expectations of other people. और इसलिए सोशल मीडिया इतना हिट क्यों है? Why we die for those 200 likes as soon as we upload our best picture on Instagram? Because we want these validations from other people. Yeah. Next interesting concept was about having multiple goals or a wrong goal. Okay, there is nothing wrong in having a goal, but setting the right goal is very important. So there are two types of goals. One is result oriented goal and one is process oriented goal. For example, I have to lose 5 kilograms in next 1.5 months is a result oriented goal. It is not directly in my control. Whereas a process oriented goal or a system based goal is to achieve 1,000 rope jumps, to make a video of 1,000 rope jumps without a single mistake. Are you getting my point? Because if I achieve this 1,000 rope jumps without a single mistake, there is a high chance that I'll achieve that result of losing 5 kg. Are you getting my point? Because if I have a result oriented goal, it is not going to take place immediately. Secondly, it is not fully in my control. It is an output. Whereas performing 1,000 rope jumps is an input. It is completely in my control. Got it? So finishing a book of 300 pages is result oriented goal. Reading 3 pages today is a process oriented goal. Got it? Because as I said, and that's the whole objective of the book, think small. Our brain hates big, huge, humongous tasks. अगर मैं अभी श्रेया को बोलूंगा कि आपको 20 स्लाइड्स का पावर पॉइंट प्रेजेंटेशन बनाना है, श्रेया बोलेगा अरे बाप रे. तो अगर मैं बोलूंगा नहीं, एक ही स्लाइड बनाना है तुमको, बस एक ही, श्रेया बोलेगी हाँ अभी तो मैं एक ही बनाना है ना, तो बना देती हूँ. See how small things, when you cut down a big task or a big project into tiny 5-minute stupid looking activity, then you don't need a willpower to do it, to get started. You break the inertia. What gives you the willpower to share that joke on WhatsApp, to forward that message, inspiring message to your friends? What gives you willpower to like a video on Instagram? What gives you the willpower to put a comment on one of the Instagram videos? कहाँ से आता है ये willpower? Because it doesn't need any willpower. These activities are so tiny, stupid, 10-second activities that they don't need any willpower. That's the power of small. All right. So हर एक चीज को आप, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम क्या है छोटे छोटे सोचने में कि प्रॉब्लम क्या है? इट इज नॉट ग्लैमरस. आज मैंने 2 पेजेस पढ़े, इट इज नॉट इंस्टाग्रामेबल ना, राइट? दिक्कत वो है. और आज मैंने बहुत 2 घंटा वर्कआउट किया और 10,000 स्टेप्स चला. दिस इज नाउ अ बोस्टेबल थिंग, राइट? बट 10,000 स्टेप्स के लिए यू हैव टू टेक 1 स्टेप एट अ टाइम. या सो सब कुछ छोटी चीज में. एक बार क्या हुआ था, मेरा दोस्त है, he suddenly said that Amrut, I want to have 6 packs like you in 3 months. हो जाएगा क्या मेरा? बोला हाँ क्यों नहीं, हो सकता है. तो एक बार क्या हुआ, उसने मुझे घर पे बुलाया. So I reached his building and he came down to pick me up because I was going there for the first time. तो मैंने उसको पूछा कि कौन से माले में रहते हो तुम? तो वो बोला सेकंड. So he was about to call the elevator. लिफ्ट बुला रहा था. मैं बोला लिफ्ट क्यों, चल ना, चल के जाते हैं, स्टेयरकेस से जाते हैं, दूसरा माला तो है. तो वो बोला कि नहीं 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 हम लिफ्ट से जाते हैं. तो मैंने बोला कि अरे पर तूने बोला ना कि 3 महीने में यू हैव टू लूज वेट एंड यू वांट 6 पैक्स लाइक मी, तो चलो ना स्टेयरकेस से जाते हैं. एंड यू नो व्हाट ही सेड, अरे वो छोड़ रे, वो स्टेयरकेस छोड़, उससे क्या होता है, तू मुझे प्रॉपर डाइट दे, तेरा वर्कआउट रिजिम दे, तू क्या करता है, क्रॉसफिट करता है, कैलेस, वो मुझे डिटेल में दे, ये छोटा मोटा मत दे मुझे. यू गेट माय मैसेज? पर वो स्टेयरकेस लेके, अवॉइडिंग दैट एलिवेटर एंड walking those 2 floors is also going to contribute something to my fitness. Maybe 10 more calories will be burned, but it is so tiny and it is so mundane, boring, not so Instagrammable, not so boastable. हमको लगता है कि वो फालतू है, राइट? बट वही तो चीज है ना कि गोल्ड और सिल्वर में वही तो फर्क है कि एक पानी पूरी खाया होगा वो सिल्वर वाली ने एक्स्ट्रा, या फिर खाया और इसलिए वो गोल्ड का सिल्वर हो गया होगा. नो माइकल फेल्प्स वन ऑफ द ओलंपिक फाइनल्स में ऐसे बोलते हैं कि उसकी नाखून कुछ उसका जो सेकंड आया था ना, उसने उस दिन नाखून काटे थे उसके, एंड दैट्स व्हाई ही केम सेकंड. अगर वो नाखून नहीं काटता वो, तो ही वुड हैव बीटन माइकल फेल्प इन ओलंपिक फाइनल्स. दैट्स द पावर ऑफ स्मॉल थिंग्स. कैन यू बिलीव? सो जब मुझे कोई ऑफर करता है, अरे अमरुद एक दिन खाना है, इतना तो नाटक क्या कर रहा है, बैड बैड बैड, तो मैं वही बोलता हूँ कि सिल्वर इज नॉट एन ऑप्शन. ओके, एक दिन से ही तो सब कुछ फर्क पड़ता है, राइट? हाँ, अगर कोई फिटनेस का बंदा बोलेगा तो मैं समझ सकता, लेकिन फिट बंदे से बोलेंगे ही नहीं. सब अनफिट बंदे बोलेंगे कि अमरुद एक एक दिन चलता है, एक दिन गुलाब जामुन खा ले चलता है, एक दिन ये खा ले चलता है. So I think I've covered enough ideas. Uh, if you have any questions, I would love to answer them.
So, yes, sir, thank you so much. We all know that we happily listen to you with the contemporary examples and all. So, and it's very nice as usual. And I have a question, sir. Like you said, you do things, don't do things in isolation, and you study exchange. Like you gave an example of books reading, right? So, see, when we read the books, like the different perspective will be there, like why, like the capturing of the content. So, can you shed some lights on it? So, two
So what's
people
your
differs in
question?
their own. So, my
Yeah, in
question.
fact, got it. In fact, that's the whole objective. That's the whole objective of. But do you ask this in case of movies? No, na. Ki for me, Three Idiots was different. For you, Three Idiots are different. Come on, it is not academic reading. You are not going to be tested on the information. You just have to get those big ideas. What does this author know that I don't know? Find out. I'm not saying, of course, your perception will be different. You are born in a different city. You are born in or brought up in a different family, and I'm from a different family. We all have different worldviews. But by
Yes.
by overthinking about these things ना, वो बुक लाइफ से बाहर चले जाएंगे. अभी अपना कंपटीशन किसके साथ है? ये जो मोस्ट अट्रैक्टिव थिंग्स which come out invariably to take care of boredom.
Yeah.
ऐसे चीजों में बुक पढ़ना, और फिर इसमें भी अगर हम ये सब एडिशन डालेंगे ना, तो गई भैंस पानी में, right? So of course, but I know it's a serious question, but my problem is that don't take reading too seriously. And when I say uh, don't read in isolation, in fact, if we read the same book and come together, it is an opportunity for us to debate and challenge the ideas. You don't have to accept everything that the author is saying, right? Now, I summarized this book called Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. He believes in intuition. I am completely against intuition. I believe in informed decision. मुझे कुछ भी अगर नया करना है ना, तो उसके अंदर घुस के उसका नॉलेज लेके आई टेक डिसीजन. फिर वो वर्कआउट हो, ईटिंग हैबिट्स हो, रीडिंग हो, बुकलेट हो, कुछ भी हो, राइट? नाउ आई एम कमिंग आउट विद द concept of board game for books. So if you play that board game for 5 to 10 times, you'll end up having knowledge of 20 books. तो बोर्ड, हाउ टू डिजाइन अ बोर्ड गेम पे मैंने 5 किताबें पढ़ ली, उसके 10 चैनल्स देख लिए, 100 वीडियोस देख लिए यूट्यूब पे, हाउ टू डिजाइन अ बोर्ड गेम. So I completely disagreed with the author, but at least that's the whole point. That made me wiser. Okay, I have a point here. Got it?
Yes, I'm great. So one more question, like the content which you said, no, like instead of making some other related reels, so what, like you give some theory, formula related Pythagoras theorem. So if students watching this video, and if they do so, it's a win-win situation for both of them, the one who is doing
Yeah,
making the reels and the other who watches. So it was
correct.
very nice.
Yeah.
So now
And it's
very true.
free. I mean, I think we don't deserve such beautiful